Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's Tony's Tips. I hope you're doing well. And those of you that have checked in already, thank you. Those of you that have not, I'd love to hear from you. And let's see, I have a few thoughts to share with you. Be on the brief side today. One is, had a nice conversation with a former client today who's just getting back on program today, wanting to drop 10 pounds. And we had a good text exchange. And one of the things that I shared with her about, well, I asked her if it's hard to get started again. And she said, yes, absolutely. And I said, once I get on, I seem to do really well. But it's making that decision to step across that line and get on. And one of the beautiful things about her doing this now is that if she doesn't do it at 10 pounds above where she wants to be, then before you know it, it can easily be 20 pounds. And we have watched people lose 120 pounds and gain it all back. It doesn't matter if it's our program or gastric bypass or anything in between. If there's not behavior modification and new habits implemented, then it's so easy to go back to our defaults and go back to the way we used to eat. And before you know it, all the weight is back. And one of the neat things about our program is that at any point you can draw the line and say, I'm going to go back on program for a week. And I know most of you that are watching this probably aren't to your goal yet, but I just want to give you something to think about, that when you do get to your goal, first of all, be working on the mental part of this whole thing. The weight loss is scientific. It's black and white. It works every time you stay on program. There will be a few times you might have a stall along the way. Sometimes it's self-inflicted. Sometimes it's just your body taking a little breather. Still losing interest in that process, but there are times that we get in the way and hold up our weight loss. But just remember that when this is followed to a T, you're going to lose the weight. And it doesn't matter how much you want to lose. You stay on it till you get there. It will happen. It's not a matter of I wonder if I can get to my goal, but you can get to your goal. And then once you get to your goal and you transition, and by the way, transition is super important. Please don't try to go right from doing program right back to eating regular food and just say, I'm so glad I'm done with this. You're not setting yourself up for long-term success. There's a lot of science that goes into transition, as well as the emotional and mental state that's greatly impacted. And we should talk about that before you transition. So I encourage you to reach out and let me know when you're close to your goal and you want to start talking about transition. We'll do that. But once you're in maintenance and you, my encouragement is draw that line and say, if I gain back 5 pounds or if I gain back 10 pounds, I'm going to go back on program and get rid of it. Because if not, it's really hard to watch that 10 turn into 15, turn into 20, could be all the way back to 60, 80, 120. It's happened. So there's just some thoughts that you can be thinking about. Also, I know that some people really struggle staying on program. And the inevitable is going to happen. Summer's going to be here whether we stay on program or not. I know that for some it's a real battle. Others it's just like cakewalk. I've had a few people that have done really, really well, and they've taken a couple of minor breaks while having company in town or a special occasion, got right back on program. In fact, I got a text from a gentleman this morning. I think he's almost at 60 pounds, down 2.8 pounds this week. He's cut out, I think 7 notches of his belt after cutting like 4 inches off his belt. And he just gets back on and does it. But some of us, if we take a little break, it's really hard to get back on track. So I just really encourage you to be very cautious if you take a break, or even if you just one meal. You know, I mentioned last week that having that one cheat day on Easter, I had been straight on program for 28 days. I was down 21 pounds, had a cheat day on Easter just with some chips and guacamole and a piece of carrot cake. It locked me up for a week. I had, I think, 1 pound lost that entire week. And it's like, it's modifying program. And I knew what I was doing, and I made the choice to do it. It was my mom's birthday celebration and Easter at the same time. So we partook in that. I partook in the carrot cake, and therefore it really interfered with my weight loss. So it doesn't take much to knock you out of fat burning and really slow things down. Doesn't mean throw in the towel. And here's the bottom line. Since summer's coming and the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks are going to go by, whether we do this or not, really stop and ask yourself, where do I want to be in a month or two from now? When summer hits and all the summer clothes are out, we're getting a little taste of that here in Idaho right now this week. But when it gets here, are you going to wish you had stuck with program? Or are you going to be so thankful that you did? And it doesn't mean it's easy, guys. This is a journey and it's a battle. Those of us that struggle with food, it's truly a battle. And, you know, thankfully it's not something like cigarettes or drugs or something like that, but it's just kind of its own drug of choice, really, or addiction of I don't even know if that's the right way to put it, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's a tough thing. If it would be that easy to stop and change, we would have done it already. And that's what I love about the program. It's predictable. when we go back on, we know we're going to drop those pounds, and I encourage you to just stick with it all the way to your goal. If you're finding yourself struggling, reach out anyway, but reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's help you get focused on your intrinsic value, your intrinsic motivation, those things that are even deeper than what the scale is, those victories from the scale, but even deeper, like long-term health maintenance and weight management and things like that. Getting on the floor with your grandkids and being able to get back up, or being active. And anyway, the more we stay focused on working towards optimal health and falling in love with health and being passionate about health, I think the easier it will be to overcome saying no to some of these hard things. So anyway, I would love to hear from you. Hope that you're doing well. And don't forget about the Habits of Health weekly webinar every Wednesday night. It's 8:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Mountain Time. And let's see, you should be getting that text every week. If you're not, let us know, and we'll be sure that you give you instructions on how you can opt in, because they'll give you a text reminder every Wednesday a few hours ahead of time. So, and you can also go YouTube and type in the search Optavia Habits of Health, and you can watch all the recordings there as well. So I highly recommend that. That's part of engagement, is in the community of watching these things that are meant directly for your long-term health, to help you sustain and to help encourage you along the way. It's not an easy thing. We know that. So the more you can do, like watching the YouTube either live or the recording, and staying connected with your coach, that's some of the best things that you can do for long-term making those changes. So anyway, hope to hear from you soon. God bless. Keep pressing on, guys. Bye-bye.